This week on DNE's Videocast, Egypt's army-led interim government announces a new constitutional decree and sets elections for the fall. Ian Lee reports on a case of an Egyptian man arrested in Syria on the charge of being a spy.
I'm Rania Al-Malki, the editor-in-chief of Daily News Egypt. The biggest event this week, something that we've been waiting for the past maybe 10 days, has been the announcement by the Army Council of the Constitutional Decree. The Constitutional Decree included 62 articles. The main elements of this decree are that it charts the path towards what's going to happen in Egypt for the next year. Some of the more controversial inclusions in this decree have been the fact that the president still retains sweeping authorities, and this is something that people were hoping would change. A lot of people are now debating whether it made any difference at all that we had a referendum on the constitutional amendments about 10 days ago. There's an increasing feeling that the army is being unilateral in its decision making. At this point, no active group or political party has much say about the decisions that are being made, and that's what's making people uneasy.
Free Mohammed Radwan, a simple demand by these protesters outside the Syrian embassy in Cairo. Syrian security forces detained the 32-year-old Egyptian man on March 25th, and now his family wants him released.
I hear so much about you.
Nora Shalabi, his cousin, is reaching out on social media, making sure the world knows his story.
There were protests that were going to happen in Damascus after Friday prayers. So he went out to check the scene, and on Twitter his last tweet was at Damascus Mosque, the Umayyad Mosque, there are clashes between pro and anti-protesters.
This tweet was the last anyone heard from him. The following day, Mohammed reappeared, but this time on Syrian state TV. Looking distraught and confused, says his family, he confessed to being an Israeli spy.
He was not exactly himself when I watched that video, and at the beginning I couldn't believe it. I just, what's going on here? Is this as if you're watching a movie?
Radwan's mother, Maha El Samaduni, wants her son released immediately. And while Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is eager to blame the current unrest as a foreign conspiracy, Maha doesn't buy her son was a part of it.
The idea of the conspiracy, everybody knows it doesn't apply to him. Definitely it doesn't apply to him. He did not have a weapon in his hand, he did not have anything except a mobile phone with a camera.
But as more Arab leaders feel the heat, foreigners seem to make easy scapegoats. Syria's ambassador addressed the protesters, saying Radwan is safe and not being tortured, but that he confessed on his own accord. It was a rare address for such a tightly controlled regime.
I think they weren't expecting that he was going to get this much attention. They probably thought they just picked up some guy and they could parade him on Syrian state TV saying, oh, look at these foreigners that are trying to disrupt our country, and and then just lock him up and no one would ask about him. But I think they were surprised to see that he got all this attention.
With Nora on Facebook and Twitter, that attention probably won't go away anytime soon. She's vowing to keep up the pressure until her cousin is released and reunited with his family. In Cairo, Ian Lee for Daily News Egypt.
Join us next week for another DNE Videocast.